Imagine stepping into a world where the boundaries between the known and the unknown blur, a realm where every shadow whispers secrets of the past. Welcome to the enigmatic domain of the mystery realm. These mysteries will increase your appetite for the unknown. In this journey, we uncover layers of the ordinary to reveal the extraordinary, where each mystery beckons with a chilling allure, promising to leave an indelible mark on your psyche. We welcome you, explorers of the unknown, to a world of intrigue, where each mystery unfolds with the suspense of a whispered secret. Before we begin, if you enjoy our content, please share with other like-minded explorers of the unknown, and thank you for watching. Your view is appreciated. Now, without further interruption, listen as this tale begins.
I was 14 when Sarah invited me over to her house for the first time. It was late October, just as the air turned cold and the leaves blanketed the ground in fiery reds and oranges. Her house was an old creaky Victorian on the outskirts of town. Everyone at school called it the haunted house, though I never thought much of it until I saw it for myself. The house had a way of looming, casting shadows that stretched long over the lawn, with tall windows that seemed to watch you as you approached. Sarah waved at me from the front steps, grinning like she'd been waiting there forever. "Come on in," she said, motioning for me to follow. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of old wood and dust. Shadows clung to the corners, and every step I took echoed back at me. I tried to shake off the prickling sensation crawling up my spine, but it stayed with me. Like the house had eyes, it was watching. Sarah led me up a winding staircase, her footsteps light and quick. I noticed she'd never touched the banister. "My parents are out of town," she said with a mischievous smile, "but I'll show you the coolest part of the house." We reached a narrow hallway lined with doors, and Sarah stopped in front of one at the very end. She looked at me, her eyes glinting. "There's something special in here," she whispered, as though she didn't want the walls to hear. She pushed the door open, revealing a bedroom that looked as if it hadn't been touched in years. The furniture was cloaked in white sheets, dust lingering in the air, and the smell of stale, almost damp air made me wrinkle my nose. "Whose room is this?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "It used to be my aunt's," Sarah said, her tone unusually serious. "She disappeared when she was about our age." I glanced at her, expecting her to laugh, but she didn't. Instead, she walked over to a small dresser and ran her fingers along its dusty surface. "No one really knows what happened to her. She was last seen right here in this room. Sometimes at night, I hear things. I've always wanted someone else to hear them too." Just as she said this, a chill settled over the room. It wasn't just the kind of cold you feel when a window is open. This was a cold that seemed to sink into your bones. Then, as if on cue, the door creaked shut behind us. I took a step back, my heart thudding in my chest. "Did you close that?" I asked, trying to sound calm. Sarah shook her head, a small, knowing smile creeping onto her face. "It happens sometimes." There was a faint sound coming from behind the walls, a low, rhythmic scratching, like nails dragging slowly across wood. I wanted to run, but my feet felt anchored to the floor. Sarah was watching me, her eyes unblinking. "I don't come here often," she said, almost to herself, "but I thought you'd understand." "Understand what?" I managed to ask, my voice trembling. She tilted her head, her expression unreadable. "That sometimes people stay behind." The scratching grew louder, closer, and I noticed the shadows on the wall weren't cast by any furniture I could see. They twisted and writhed, as if something were crawling just out of sight. I tried to shake off the feeling, but it was no use. My eyes drifted to the mirror hanging on the opposite wall, and for a moment I saw someone's reflection, a girl about our age, staring back at me with hollow eyes, her face pale and lifeless. I gasped, but when I turned to Sarah, she was smiling in that same strange way, as if everything were exactly as it should be. "Don't be scared," she whispered, reaching for my hand. "She just wants to play." Just then, the mirror cracked, the sound piercing and final. I stumbled back, pulling my hand free from Sarah's grip. Her face flickered, and for an instant, I saw her eyes go completely dark. I turned and bolted for the door, yanking it open with all the strength I could muster. I dashed down the hallway, my footsteps echoing like thunder in the silence. But as I reached the bottom of the stairs, I heard her voice drift after me, soft and sing-song. "Come back any time." When I burst out of the house and into the fresh air, it felt like I'd escaped a dream, a horrible, creeping nightmare. I looked back, and Sarah was standing at the top of the stairs watching me with that same eerie smile. To this day, I'm not sure if she was ever really there. No one else in school remembers her, and when I ask around, they all looked at me like I was crazy. But sometimes at night, I hear that soft scratching sound, and I see her face in my dreams, smiling in that way that says, "I know you'll come back."